Welcome to the Big Scoop with Coop. Of course, I'm your host, Coop. Big shout out to you that's listening to this episode right now on whatever major streaming platform that you're on right now. Also, if you want to catch the video version of this show, you can in so many different ways. You can go to youtube.com/the Big Scoop with Coop. Make sure you click like and subscribe so you don't miss one episode of the Big Scoop with Coop. Also, make sure you check out the website, thebigscoopwithcoop.com, where you can catch episodes from season 1 all the way up to now. Also, if you're a social media person, that's right, you can find these shows on social media. Facebook.com/the Big Scoop with Coop. On Instagram at Big Scoop with Coop. And that's right, I'm on TikTok. I am on TikTok, people. Just look up the Big Scoop with Coop. And I guarantee you will not miss one episode of the Big Scoop with Coop. All right, people. Enough about me. Today's guest, he is doing big things in the entertainment industry and in the literary industry. This man has written books, got an album out, also doing gaming. And when I say gaming, he's writing in the game. You can actually see his lines in the game. That's right, I'm talking about GTA 6, people. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the one and only Nick Brooks. Now, Nick, like I said, is doing big things. He has a book that's out that's called Up in Smoke, and he has an album that's out that's called Up in Smoke. And guess what? Both of them connect to each other. The album gives clues for the book. That's right, I say it one more time. The album gives clues for the book. Never even heard that happen before in my life, but he has done it. So make sure you go get that album. Make sure you go get the book Up in Smoke. We're going to kick it with Nick. We're going to talk about his career. We're going to talk a little bit about video gaming. We're going to talk about this book. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about it all. So sit back and relax and enjoy this episode of the Big Scoop with Coop with Nick Brooks. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Coop. I appreciate you, man, for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's your day going so far?
So far, so good. Can't complain. Just getting home from a day's work at the office, and now it's time for part two, the family man time. So,
Hey, homie, I understand where you're coming from. Wife and 3 kids. So I'm daddy mode, also in school,
yeah,
work, doing
yeah.
this. So, I mean, trust me, I see where you're coming from. Plus, I'm in North Carolina. So the
Okay.
weather, I don't know what it wants to do. Does it want to be the Wizard of Oz or does it want to stay cool and warm? I don't know. So, yeah, playing it day by day. Yes, sir.
Right, right.
Now, Nick, man, like I told a lot of people before, man, you have done some tremendous things in your career. Your career is nowhere close to being over. But for the people that's getting introduced to you for the first time, when did you first realize that you wanted to get into the entertainment industry?
Man, I think I realized at a young age, man. I'm gonna be honest. Growing up seeing entertainers, hip hop artists, athletes. Those were the people we looked up to. Those were the people that we saw successful growing up. So, at a young age, I realized that's what I wanted to do, even if I wasn't sure what capacity it would be in.
I feel you on that. And you know what? I tell people all the time, though, Nick, if you have a love for something and you see it, it don't matter if you see it once or 1,000 times. If you have a love for something, it's going to stick inside of you and it's
Yep,
going to eat at you on the inside till you attempt to at least try it. And look
absolutely,
at you. And you're doing it.
absolutely.
Yes, sir. Now, Nick, did you have any mentors to help you out on the way from the beginning of your career all the way up to now?
I would say so. I definitely come across some mentors, people who guided me through certain moments. Um, one mentor that comes to mind is a guy, Jamal Henderson, who is the president and chief content advisor over there at Spring Hill, which is LeBron James' company. When I was at SC in film school, I was fortunate enough to intern for LeBron, and Jamal kind of took me under his wing and was a great mentor. Another guy, Rick Famuyiwa, who's a director, writer, director, EP of the show, The Mandalorian. Same type of thing. I got a chance to work with Rick and assist him and shadow him on multiple sets. He was a mentor, I would say. And then the various educators, that have come across my path that maybe just spoke a little bit of life into me, or told me, I think the first time it was my sixth grade teacher, a guy named Mr. Henry, who actually put me in a play. And it was him who told me, who like saw some type of talent in me, right? And was like, yo, you need to do something with that. So yeah, certainly along the way, I've had mentors in one way or another.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, yeah,
And the names you name, man, they're huge in your own special type of way. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think when they say mentors, it's got to be over the top edge type people.
Yeah.
People can, impact you any type of way in your life to make you do it. And
Yeah.
look at you, homie. I mean, man, it's incredible what you're doing. And we about to talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
But I want to start from the very beginning also. Now,
Yeah.
before filmmaking, before um the Promise Boys, before
Yeah. Yeah.
all of that, you was an educator, man. And
Yep. Yep.
you helped out a lot of people that's at risk kids.
Yep. Yep.
So how did those kids impact your life? I know how you impacted their life, but how did they impact your life when you was trying to help them out?
Absolutely, man. That's a great question. They taught me a lot, man. They taught me a lot about empathy. They taught me a lot about judgment, like judging some of these kids before you really got to know them, or got to know their stories, where they come from. They taught me a lot about perseverance, right? Seeing some of the things that these kids go through and still show up to school day after day, right? Sometimes even if it's because that's the only place they could get a meal, you know what I'm saying? But they still show up. So I learned a lot working with those kids, and working with them, I think I really found my purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I feel like I've been put here to do, is to work with kids, to help inspire kids, to educate kids. And not, I mean, not just kids, adults too, but that's really where I found it, when I became an educator. And so yeah, they not only taught me a lot, but they also inspired me, right? They inspired me to go out and tell stories like Promise Boys. And so I owe a lot of my success to the kids and families that I work with, and still work with, to this day as an educator.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen that's watching worldwide right now, if you know any kids that need, I mean, don't bypass them because this is our future. I know we be hearing it all the time. The children are the future. That's been in the songs from the 80s all the way up, but that's a real life thing. Help
Yep.
out a kid in need. Do not overlook them and bypass because you don't know. This could be the next president of the United States that be coming up. It could be your doctor in 20 years. You
Yep.
don't know what's going to happen. It could be you turn on Netflix. Guess what? That was your filmmaker that you just helped out right then and there. So do not bypass the kids, people. Make sure you help them every way you can. And if you don't have the ability to help, you reach out to someone that can. Like my boy Nick right here. He knows how to take care of people, man. He probably can point you in the right direction, or think of the companies that's out here, Boys and Girls Club, the Y, a lot of places. So do your
Absolutely.
thing. Make sure you reach out. Help kids that's in need. Make sure you do that.
Absolutely, bro. I
Yes,
can't
sir.
can't agree more.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, Nick, you done something else, man. I want to talk about this also.
Mhm.
You were a finalist in the Forbes 30 under 30. How excited were you to
Yeah.
even get into that position to become a finalist?
Yeah, man. I never forget when I got that news, man. I dropped down and almost wanted to break into tears, and it's like it's crazy because, for me at that stage in my career, I was still working in education. I had made a short film that I wanted to use to get into film school. I was looking up different film schools, trying to see what was the best one to go to, found one. But to get in, you had to make a film. You had to make a short film. And so I made a film, pulled together some community resources. At this time, I was living in Dallas, Texas. So I made the film in South Dallas, Oak Cliff. Shout out to Oak Cliff. And yeah, man, it the film did well, right? And getting that news was like, it wasn't necessarily about it being Forbes 30 under 30. I guess in a way it was, but it was affirmation. You know what I'm saying? What that moment really was for me, um, was uh almost like, I don't want to use the word sign, but it was confirmation, right? That my life was about to head in a new direction. And so that feeling is overwhelming sometimes when if you tapped in and you get that message, like it can be overwhelming because it excites you, right? Overwhelmed from excitement, from happiness, from joy, and maybe even a little bit of nervousness, right? Because things are gonna take a different turn. But for me, I'm always like I mentioned, I knew at an early age I wanted to work in entertainment. So anyway, long story short, getting that news, and there was a couple other pieces of news like that had that type of effect on me. But getting that news was the first time that I felt it as far as this path that I'm on now. That was the first moment of feeling anything like that. That like, yo, my life is I think is about to shift. And
Mm.
that moment of getting that news, yeah.
Man, Nick, don't hold it back, man. Tell everybody what's the name of the film that you did that got you in the fourth quarter. Let them know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was my very, very first film. It's a 5 minute film called Hoop Dreaming. Um, it's actually a film that I made with some kids in South Dallas. Like, again, I was working with in education. My man was an educator, and he had a couple students that some knuckleheads, right? And he's
Right.
like, "Yo, I need to get them on the right track. What can we do? What should we do?" And I was like, "Bro, I got to make a film for this film school. What if we tried to make a film with them, like, and use that as an incentive, right? Like, what if we tell them like, yo." If y'all do, y'all hit these benchmarks, y'all get these grades on the weekends, we could go try to make a movie, right? Um, and that is exactly what we did. We ended up when I got into film school, we ended up flying those same kids out to LA. They had never been on a plane, flying them out to LA to make another short film. And one of them ended up going to arts high school because of that, because of those experiences. So it's stuff like that, man, that is rewarding. You know what I'm saying? When you think back on the journey and the lives you've been able to touch, even at that level, right? That was a small thing, but that was the film. It's called Hoop Dreaming. But again, it was the it was the very first film I ever made. So keep that in
Wow.
mind.
That's what I'm talking about. And Nick, you can look back at these kids and let's just say 5, 10 years from now, or
Yeah,
even before, they could be the next big thing. And you could be
yeah,
like, you know what, I was there
yeah,
when you first took that first step. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
That's an accomplishment in itself. So
yeah, yeah,
big shout outs to all the kids in Texas that's doing their thing.
yeah.
Keep rising, keep rising, keep rising. I cannot stress that enough.
There
Keep
you go.
rising. Yes, sir. Now, since you kind of mentioned it already, but let's go on to talk about this real quick. Now, you sold a show to Netflix called The Promise Boys.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Now, you did more than just that because you actually helped produce this
Yeah,
with Michelle and Barack Obama.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
how excited were you for that? To step
yeah,
side by side,
yeah,
former
yeah,
president of the United States and the
yeah.
first lady to actually do your dream of what you're doing.
Man, again, you talk about those one of those moments, right, where you feel like, okay, things are gonna take a shift. Um, I never forget it was I can't remember, maybe it was December or something when we officially closed, or maybe November, whatever, that we officially closed the deal and met with Netflix and they said they wanted to do the show, man, and it's an inexplicable feeling. And to do a show with a platform like Netflix alongside, like you said, cultural icons such as the Obamas. You know what I mean? It all was breathtaking. And so yeah, man, that was a great experience. We ended up writing the pilot. And so now we just, the show of course isn't the full show isn't produced, just the pilot episode. And so we're waiting to hear back and from Netflix to see if we're gonna get greenlit or not. So fingers
That's
crossed.
fingers crossed. I'm doing two fingers crossed, man. You got this, man. I'm
Thank
speaking
you,
into
thank
the atmosphere. I
you,
definitely am. Now, are you still in contact with Michelle and Brock? Do you all
thank
speak
you.
every blue moon, or is it
Nah, nah, not at all, man. Not at all. I've never spoken to Barack or Michelle. You know what I mean? So, it's one of those things where sometimes these people have their production companies, and so that's who you
yeah,
speak with, right? It's like their right hand. And so in that sense, yeah, if I'm going through like higher ground or something,
right.
and they're kind of relaying, Michelle's thoughts on a particular thing or whatever.
Mhm.
Uh, but no, I'm not in touch with them.
Okay, but you know
Which
what?
is
In some type of way, you still are in touch with them.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
just
yeah.
said, relay of messages. I mean,
There you go.
people can't even get that far sometime with them. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah. Facts.
Yes, yes. Now, we talked about the Promise Boys. Now, this is what a lot of people, you got a lot of eyes and ears on this. And I want to talk about this. You got this book that's out, and
Hmm.
you got this album that's out. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing double duty, and it's called Up in Smoke. Now, what made you decide to hit the book, the literary scene, plus stay in
Hmm.
the music industry with the same title? What
Yeah.
was your thought process behind it?
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Two things I love to do, I love to write in long form fiction. I love to make music. And when I finished writing the book is told from two perspectives. I felt like I still had more to say. I felt like I had still themes that I wanted to explore. The book is about these two kids who are solving a murder that happens at a Black Lives Matter protest. And a lot of the themes in the book are about, being a young, what it means to be a young revolutionary, what it means to be a young activist. And I wanted to go even deeper in ways that I couldn't necessarily explore in the book, particularly because I wanted to explore through the lens of a completely different character, right? One of the characters in the book. And so, yeah, man, it just hit me. It's like, yo, I write murder mystery. It'd be cool to like plant clues to the murder mystery in the music, you know? And so, I made I wrote the book, then I wrote the album, and the album has clues to the murder in the book. And initially it was just an idea, but the music started to really sound good and take shape, and so I went for it and pitched the idea to my publisher, Macmillan. They loved the idea. And so I just went for it, bro. I just did it. And so now the book and the album is out, and hopefully people are enjoying it. I'm getting some good feedback, but sometimes you never know.
Now, we're going to know right now. Ladies and gentlemen watching worldwide,
Yeah.
if you have not got this book up in smoke and you have
Yeah.
not got the album up in smoke,
Yeah.
get it. Go
Yeah.
get it. Not right now because you're watching this interview. After this interview, go get it because you can read that book
Yeah.
and you want more clues,
Yep.
hit the album.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
This is the first time I've heard that a book and an album connects together
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
can actually put the whole piece together.
Yep.
Go do it.
Yep.
Go get it for your family, your friends, your associates. You know what? Get it for your haters too, because they need to read also. Make sure you get it for all of them. Tell them,
Absolutely.
tell them, Nick, how can they get this book? How can they get the album?
100%. Yeah, you can get the book anywhere books are sold, right? Barnes and Noble, Amazon, your local bookstore, local black owned bookstore, your local library, right? Go in there. If it's not in your local library, go request it. If you are an educator, or a librarian in the school, get it for your school, get it for your school library, get classroom sets, right? For me, I really need this book to be in the hands of young people, right? So if again, if you're a parent, right, you can get it for your kid. But yeah, you can get it anywhere books are sold. As far as the album, you can also stream it anywhere music's heard, right? So Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, YouTube, right? You can hear it anywhere. So they're both very accessible. And if you for whatever reason can't find it, you can always come to my social media page, Nick Brooks. You can Google Nick Brooks and you can find me. Go to my website. But it's very, very easy to find. Up in Smoke, Nick Brooks. I will say on the music side, I perform under the moniker Ben Kenobi. And that's Kenobi with an E, not an I. And so yeah, you can find, but again, I'm easy to find. If you want to find it, I'm easy to find. Yeah,
I didn't have to say it.
yeah,
Nick
yeah,
just
yeah,
said
yeah,
it. You know
yeah,
what to do, people.
yeah,
Go get the book.
yeah,
Go stream the album. I
yeah,
cannot stress this enough. Once again, you cannot tell me that you've heard of a book and a album that will
yeah,
connect simultaneously.
yeah. Never been
Connect the
done.
whole dot. Man,
Yeah,
history making.
yeah,
History making. What I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, there's something else you've done also, Nick, and I got to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm a gamer.
Oh,
I'm a
yeah,
gamer.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you are hitting every realm of the
yeah.
entertainment industry. Now,
Trying,
what made you go down that road to
yeah.
start working and writing for games?
Yeah, yeah, man. So I'm currently at Rockstar Games, right? Working on if you know their titles, we there's one coming out next year, May 26th, yeah, number six. And so man, something like one Rockstar. I'm a huge Rockstar fan, right? Like whether it's GTA, Red Dead. They had a game a while back, Max Payne, that I was a huge fan of. I'm a huge GTA. I'm a huge Rockstar fan, but particularly GTA and Max Payne. And so again, man, I'm a storyteller, So when I saw that they were looking for writers for the sixth iteration of Grand Theft Auto, um, I raised my hand and thankfully I got the call. And it's been a great experience. So I'm excited for that. Again, I know people are excited to get it. It's been a while. So yeah, man, I can't wait till next year so I can also have the game. You know what I'm saying? And play it because I'm though I'm a writer, and working on it. I'm also just, I'm a fan just like you are, So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I think it's gonna be really, really special. So yeah, thank you.
Of course, of course. Now, Nick, how hard is that process though to write for
Yeah.
a game? I mean, is it in the same boat for you for doing literary
Yeah.
compared to writing for a game?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm really set up for success. We have a great team over there. And I would say so. Again, it's for me, it's all about storytelling. What's the story we're telling, right? Who are the characters? What's the setting? The same basic elements of a story that we learned in grade school. You know what I mean? And so whether it's music, whether it's a novel, whether it's a video game, whether it's a script, for film, whether it's a TV script, no matter what the medium is, it all comes back to storytelling. And I think just having a strong command of storytelling, which one I've practiced it a while now, but also going to doing that thing we talked about, going to film school, making that very, very, very first short film to allow me to get into film school and then go study with some of the best, writers in the business. All of those things have given me the toolkit, and the skill set to be able to write in these different mediums. So, yeah, I would say, it's all, none of it is out of my wheelhouse. It's all there for me, because I am a storyteller.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Now, personal question, and this
Yeah.
for the gamers also, just your
Okay.
personal opinion.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that GTA 5
Yeah.
lasted as long as it did? With all the updates and the DLCs and everything, are
Yeah.
you surprised that 6 didn't come out way sooner?
I'm not surprised, only because it's such a rich game. You know what I mean? There's so much to do, and to your point, you have online gameplay, you have updates. It's like all of these things to like expand the life, right, of the game. It's not the exact same game that we played. What was that? Oh, a little over 10
2013.
years ago.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So because of those things, I'm not surprised. I go back still sometimes. I go back and play a game called Diablo every now
yeah.
and again when I can. That game came out, I want to say in like the 90s or something. You know what I mean? Like, so when it's a really rich game, right? When you're connected to, again, it's a story. When you're connected to the characters, when you're connected to the world, when you're connected to those things, you can always go back to it. It's no different than being able to go back and watch Godfather. Nobody's saying, "Well, are you surprised Godfather?" No, because it's a great story. And similarly with GTA, five in particular. It's a great story, and so I'm not surprised at all because those are
That's what I'm
smart
talking
smart
about.
people over there.
I agree with you. I
Yeah, yeah,
100%
yeah,
agree with you on that one. Now,
yeah.
Nick, is there any other projects that you're working on right now that you want the world to know about?
Man, none I can speak to at the moment. We
Okay.
got a lot of projects going, man, and I would really just encourage people if they can to just tap in with me. Whether it's on the socials, whether it's on, Instagram, official Nick Brooks, you got TikTok, official Nick Brooks. Tap in with me on the socials to kind of stay up to date on what we're working on. But I will say there's a lot of exciting things on the horizon that I'm just not sure I can talk about right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, that's watching worldwide right now. Make sure you follow Nick on social media. Whatever platform you're on, he's on it also. Make sure
yeah.
you follow him because you never know. He may announce the next great big thing on
Mhm.
social media. You never know where this man's gonna pop up at. I mean, this man is already in your bookstore. He's already on your Netflix. He's already in your games. This man is all in your house already. So guess what? Go on and follow him on social media also. Let him be on your phones. Let him be on your tablets also. Make sure
There
you
you
do
go.
that because once again, you never know what's coming next from Nick.
There
Now,
we go.
Nick, last segment of the show.
Yes, sir.
It's called Take the Floor. You have
Okay.
up to 2 minutes to say whatever you want. No questions asked. Nick
Yeah.
Brooks,
Yeah.
take the floor.
There we go. Well, I would say, please, 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 if you're listening, go get up and smoke. If you have young people in your lives, make sure you introduce them to this book. It's a powerful story. I think it's particularly me. I'm right here in LA, and there's a lot of protests going on downtown right now. This is exactly what the book is about. What does it look like for our young people to be engaged in activism? What does it look like for them to be? What's their fight in a larger revolution, right? To change their circumstance and to change the world around them. So please, if you're listening, go get up and smoke. go stream the album if you're a fan of music. And send it to a friend, like Coop said. Send it to a friend. Tell a friend to send it to a friend, and let's spread the word. Because it's hard to get books like this published, right? Particularly books that center around Black boys. And the only way that we can continue to get these types of books published is to show that they can be successful, right? So I would say go get up and smoke, go listen to the album, tap in with me on socials, and I'll see you soon.
You heard it here first, people. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Nick Brooks. Follow him on social media. Next year, go get GTA 6. He's going to be flooding your game system. You heard him a while ago. Go get up and smoke. What are you waiting for? The interview's almost over, so you go get up and smoke. Make sure you do that. Also, once again, support the kids, people. Make sure if you see someone that's in need, do not bypass them. I cannot stress it enough. All right, Nick Brooks, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and I would love to have you back on in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coop, man. I appreciate it. It's, Coop, that's the name of the protagonist in Up in Smoke. So it's cool, So thank you again for having me. And yeah, bro, let's please keep in touch.
That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, on the next episode of the Bit Scoop with Coop, my next guest is, I don't announce my next guest. You better follow me on social media at the Bit Scoop with Coop. Follow me everywhere, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You know what to do, people. All right, people, until the next time on the Bit Scoop with Coop. Peace.
Peace.